Welcome back to On the Pulse, everyone. Well, there's something that I wish I had known when I've opened my very first business, was how to do it and what are the steps. Let me introduce you to the financial guru, Miss Kathy, from Marston Rogers Financial Group. How are you, my friend?
Very good. How are you?
Well, last time we were here, we talked a little bit about planning for retirement for small businesses.
Right.
Let's go back to how do we start a small business and those steps. But I want to hear a little bit of your backstory, because what age did you open your first business?
20 years old.
20 years. I was 21.
Yes.
I didn't even know I had to pay tax.
Well, yes. That's a hard lesson to learn, isn't
About
it?
a year and a half later,
Yes,
I realised I
hard one.
needed an accountant.
Yes, accountants are important.
So tell me, what made you get into it at 20?
At 20, the desire to be able to be at home and be independent.
Yes.
For my husband at the time to be able to be home because he worked away and he wanted to be home. And I had my first child, so I have 40 years of it.
4 years to begin with. Let me ask you a little question. What drive does it take for someone to start that small business? Because we know everyone at home, most people like the thought of it, but then just get so intimidated.
You have to have, I think, a certain personality type. You have to have a passion about something, and you have to define the niche where it's going to fit. How is it going to help? Why is it going to sell? What is it about it that makes you different from everybody else that does the same thing?
Okay, what's your number one piece of advice that you give people going into a small business?
Really count the cost. It's important to know where you are, what price are you willing to pay to do it, and are you really ready to step off into it?
Well, that's the important part. Are you ready to step off? How do you financially prepare for opening a small business?
We recommend that people have 6 months to at least a year worth of income set aside. If you're going to quit your job, your small business may not start paying you right away. And so you have to be able to pay your personal bills and your business bills. So it's important to have money set aside before you start.
And this is what we want everyone to know. Most accountants will also say to you that most small businesses aren't financially viable for at least 3 years to begin with.
Right.
I didn't even know that until I opened my third business.
Right.
And then went, oh my gosh, I'm expanding way too fast.
Correct.
That's also very important, correct?
It is. It is important. We also encourage people to have a separate checking account for their business. Treat their business money as their business money. Don't spend it for themselves. Have it separate from your personal money.
That's super good advice, let me tell you. Something that you said a little bit off camera, you said being prepared physically and emotionally.
Yes. Right. So, do you have young children at home? Are you starting a small business? Have you considered the number of hours that you're going to have to spend to make your business work? So are you physically in a condition to do that? Emotionally, do you have the support of your family? Are you willing to give up that time maybe with your children or your spouse to put what it takes into the business?
That's super important. Now let's briefly touch on, because it's a whole nother conversation, employees. Can we afford them? Do we know what to do with them?
Well, have a good tax professional. Like you said, pay your taxes if you're going to hire an employee. Make sure you treat this as an employee. So many small business owners say, oh, well, they're not really an employee, they're a contractor. And that's not true. That'll get you in trouble with taxes.
Oh,
but
really?
Yes, but you won't, because if you pay them as a contractor and they're an employee, you can have to pay all those taxes back that you didn't pay.
Oh my gosh.
That's important. You need to hire the right people. Do they have the same passion that you have? Do they have the same, do they see things the way that you do? Same drive.
Well, that's what it's all about, employing the right amount of people.
It is.
We've totally enjoyed your conversation again today.
So much.
Thank you so much. If you want to find more out about Marston Rogers Financial Group, there it all is up on the screen. Give Kathy a call. Back after this short break, everyone.